Well, I played all the story realms. It took me something like 30 hours. And what do I have to say about the game after this? I mean, technically, they've done some cool new things. Well, I like how the enchantments work now. I really liked stacking a bunch of enchantments, so for example my archers became super badass. That was dope. Um, the good part is of course that you don't have to put them on every different unit, or there's no dicking about with all the different options as that there was in Planetfall. I much prefer this more streamlined version. Also, you no longer need to have units be directly adjacent in order to help in a battle, which makes some of the moving around more reasonable, less metagamey. I also like that. I very much do not like that you now need a hero to attack a city or even an outpost. And the new siege mechanic was... It was just better when we had like actual sieges, and without it now requiring several turns, it just slows the game down. There are other things that have sped it up a bit, like the streamlined enchantments, for example, and then this fucking drag, which in the campaign, if we can even call it that, became insane in the last mission. Like, at one point, I clocked a turn where the AI took 12 minutes to move. Like, that was an outlier, but 2-minute turns were perfectly normal. For a huge map and many AIs, but well, that's what they put in the fucking story realms. So they should have been able to handle it. There's just no reason why in current year an AI that is utterly shit, by the way, should take minutes on a pretty decent CPU. I have a i7 10 series 700K, 10700K. That's what it is. It gets, and the game is actually using it apparently, like multiple cores it seems. For what? I don't fucking know. So that part is just broken. And in terms of campaign, which is always for me like what I want to play, I enjoy the game mechanically, but I also want like some story behind it. It's so bare bones compared to the previous Age of Wonder games. Like, one thing is me completing it in 30 hours despite all the slow ass AI turns, where I have like 150 hours in Planetfall and 200 in Age of Wonders 3, and in both of those I only played the campaigns, really. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind the length. That length wasn't padded with AI, but I wanted to have like some kind of real story. I don't know, a protagonist. It feels so goofy when you're switching back and forth between the good guys and the bad guys. Well, kind of good, kind of bad. It's a bit ambiguous. But you're like using your own custom made character on both sides, because it actually doesn't matter. There's no protagonist. You're not the protagonist. You're just like there doing some missions, and there is no other protagonist either who you'd be really following. It's just barely a story, especially compared to the previous ones, which felt real. And all the missions have their little events and twists, but also not much of them. So there's not much of a campaign. And of course it's all in on the 4X aspect, which I never... I mean, I don't super mind it, but I really miss the old Age of Wonders. That was just a turn-based strategy without all the 4X shit. I can hardly recommend this game to anyone. It's not terrible so long as you don't play huge missions. But unless you don't care about the campaign at all, the previous Age of Wonders are better. And if you don't care about campaign at all, I think previous Age of Wonders are still better, because there's no stupid siege mechanic. Yeah, I'll give it like a 5 out of 10. It's adequate. And now I will uninstall it.